Give us the youth perspective on this AU conference, third men's conference on positive masculinity. We are joined by AU youth member who's going to be telling us more about her position in that office with, guys.
Which camera am I looking at?
You're going to be sharing with us, Chido, on the youth perspective towards the entire conference that we are having today. Welcome to South Africa, first of all.
Thank you.
Please share with us what your role is in the AU and what your perspective is with regards to violence against women and children.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Chido Mpemba. Currently, I sit in the African Union Cabinet of the Chairperson as the African Union Special Envoy on Youth. And my role is to ensure that young people are fully represented on the decision-making table, as we are aware that the largest demographic we have in Africa are young people. So any decision that has to be made has to include them. So it's truly an honor for me to represent this constituency and to be in South Africa. In fact, I actually came last week. I decided to come a few days before the men's conference because I thought it's important for me to gather my constituency, and I gathered 200 young people to also discuss these issues that are pertinent to us, that are affecting us, and decisions that will also have an impact on our generation and the future generation to come.
To someone who is young and watching this, maybe even at home or wherever they could be via social media, what is the one call that you can make to them to become part of this movement without necessarily being part of any body or any grouping or even this conference itself?
I would say that young people are very innovative, and we find that social media and just digital platforms also have a crucial role to play. So I'd say young people can play their part by advocating, by amplifying, making sure issues to do with ending violence for women and girls make it to the core of social media as something that's important. Because there's so many challenges we're faced with on our continent, even globally. And for us to make sure that when we talk about GBV, that it becomes an important topic, it means that we have to raise our voice. But also, let's not forget that in order for young people to raise their voice, they need to know what is happening. So I believe that's also my duty, to make sure I share the information. Not only that, but it also reaches the marginalized community, the underprivileged, the young person who might not have access to watch this, but might be affected by the decisions that are going to be made today. And finally, in as much as we say is, them, participating and not being part of a body, I tend to differ with that, because the decisions are being made by our leaders. Therefore, we need more young people in those leadership positions so that they can also influence decisions. So I also make a call to action for young people. Let us make sure that we also get involved. Let us make sure that we go for these leadership positions, these political positions, because if we don't, the decisions will be made for us. But if we are on the table ourselves as the leaders, then we can influence them.
Speaking of leaders and politics and getting into government, which key policies would you like as the youth representation to see changes made in the policies of our different states in the continent to help push forward this mission that we are on?
I would say when we talk about participation of young people and leadership and political roles, that means we also need to increase the quota. When we're talking about representation in parliament, for instance, I know in South Africa it should be about 48% of young people, no, not young people, 48% of women that are in parliament. But those 48% of women that are in parliament, how many of them are young people? That also goes back to policy. How can we create quotas, a quota system that also have places for young people? How can we build their capacities? Because it's one thing to create a quota for them to be able to enter into politics, into parliament. It's another to train them accordingly. It's another to look at, even when it comes to stuff to do with elections, being able to register as an electoral candidate, to look at those fees as well. Are they tangible for young people? So again, I think it's a matter of looking at those policies that will make it more attractive for young people to run.
And lastly, speak to someone who is listening to this and just urge them to join in on the fight against violence on women and children.
Okay. What I would say is every second we are losing young girls and women because of gender-based violence. These are young girls and women that had a future, that had a destiny, These are young girls and women that are someone's sister, someone's mother, someone's daughter. And as a result of this, it could be me, it could be you. Therefore, it's important that we join this fight so it does not keep happening to our sisters. It does not keep happening to young women and girls that are affected the most by gender-based violence. Let us fight together against this.
Thank you so much, Chido. We look forward to seeing you taking up space in this environment and this platform, and of course influencing other young people to join in the fight of taking Africa forward.
Thank you.
And there you have it. We're going to wrap it here with Chido as we continue with the conference. She has made a clear call to all youth to seek participation in positions that will have influence in politics and governance going forward.